Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Stream On Streaming On podcast.
Welcome.
We are Blluist, another episode in the rain here. In the rain. We made it another month in this crazy world. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you're checking this out, I know some people kind of check out this podcast because I've been told, like stuff happens in life and they're still interested, thankfully, but they can't always check out the streams and whatnot. So
they kind of check in on us through the podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
And if this is the first time you're watching, this is a podcast that we just talk about things that happen during that month, things that changed, not all the time. It's not that we do something different every month, but there's always something that happens that's, it might not be completely different, but it is, I would say, something that we can think about in the future. It's always like, what would we want to, if we were listening to back to this podcast in 10 years, would there be any like updates or like, oh yeah, we used to do that. We did that back then kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a lot like an audio journal of what we do every month, basically. We do talk about stuff that happens behind the scenes and whatnot as well, but
I think it's just kind of like a way for us to keep tabs on what we do and our mindset through this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing it since the first month that we started streaming. So if you're interested in that, there should be a link somewhere that links you to the playlist.
Yeah, there should be a link.
Yeah. Okay, so check it out. Anyway, so this is 2023. This is for February.
It is for February, yeah.
Yeah, I had to listen back to the other podcast because I forgot what we talked about. I never remember what we talked about.
We always lose track. So I wonder if there's actually a podcast where we repeat stuff.
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a ton.
So I do apologize for that if you get repeated content.
Yeah.
But I think it's like a lot of times we just like to kind of talk about what's been on our mind or what we've been working on recently. So sometimes if that's been, if we've been working on something for several months, then we do bring it up quite a bit.
Like thoughts do linger more than a month, I guess.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I've realized.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I was going to talk about the YouTube stuff and I was like, you know what? That's something we can talk about. And you were like,
wait, didn't we talk about that last podcast?
And then like I watched the last podcast and we went in like in depth about that. So
I was like, oh, okay, never mind. We already talked about it.
But I mean, we can still say we're continuing it. We're right before filming this one.
We're planning the next one.
Yeah, because we're not really used to this whole YouTube. I think if we were more productive and we were more, let's say, like if we were pushing ourselves a little bit more, we would get all that stuff done in a day. But we just know that we would get burned out and it's just not our style. So we split up into 2 days where we figure out like which clips we want to use on one day. And then on our other off day, we spend edit the video, do all the commentary, and
it's supposed to be more of like a side project fun thing. So we don't want to make it like, we don't want to like jot it down into a schedule where, if what comes an off day and we're like, oh God, we have to do this today. Like we want to make sure that it's open enough that, sometimes we don't have to do it that day.
Yeah, and it's
maybe
not like
we don't do
schedule.
it this week.
Yeah.
We do something else because there's something else that we either want to do or we want to play or whatever. So
yeah, I think that's one of the most important things for us is like it's very different from like it's not that we don't have drive. I think we do, and I think a lot of content creators think this, but they have the most drive, like they're more, it's not that other people don't have drive, but they just have in their minds they have a lot of drive, but it doesn't show a lot of the times because immediate results or the way that they show the drive or the way that they kind of execute that is different. Or people think that there's only like a lot of people think that there's only one way to show it or there's only one way to kind of express it. And it's for us, it's very quiet. It's like a very quiet, kind of like a blue flame type thing where it's like it's the hottest. The blue flames are hotter than the red ones, but it's kind of like not loud. It's very I think we're trying to do things that work for us, but I think we're the most focused we've been since we started streaming, I think.
I mean, the schedule helps too.
Yeah. And we'll get into that
Keeps
because
everything in
we
check.
did have a question about that, so I kind of want to keep that till the end.
Yeah.
So I don't just I actually read the questions this time, so beforehand, so
That's
I don't
rare.
I don't want to I want to keep it for that, but and the schedule does have a lot to do with that, and it's really surprising how much. But there's some difficulties that come with it now that we've been doing for almost a month, but we've been more focused, even with the YouTube stuff. So what I was trying to get to is we were because we split it up into 2 different days. We figured out we looked at the VODs, and because this time we're doing something different from the previous 2 ones, and we're not taking a game. We for some people that don't know this, when we moved into this house, we couldn't figuring out internet or getting internet into this house was like a big thing because we moved during like the big moving time, which is spring in April. So a lot of these internet providers were extremely busy, let's say, and they first told us, don't worry, 2 weeks. We'll get it in 2 weeks. Then it was like a month. And then it was like 4 months. So then we had to cancel that one. And we're like, no, that's unrealistic. Went to a different provider. And then they were like, yeah,
it's still going to take 2 months.
Yeah. And we're
so
like,
basically,
oh,
we had a period where we didn't have access to internet for 2 months. So we got really creative and
Wasn't
we did
it a month?
really. Huh?
Wasn't it a month?
It was 2 months.
2 months? Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was 2 months.
Yeah.
So we got really, really creative and we did some really interesting streams.
What did we do for the podcast during that time? I'm gonna listen to that podcast, like what it was like, because
I don't think we did it.
Did we not?
We couldn't record it.
Yeah.
Or anything. Because no, we could. I don't remember.
We could record it and then
we just couldn't upload it. Yeah. So I don't remember if we didn't do it and we just did like a roundup of it afterwards or
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look back.
Pretty much it was this really peculiar. I mean, it was really scary. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because but just for people that don't know what happened, it was like these 2 months as a streamer, still growing streamer, and it was like no internet. You can't play. You can't stream, and we're desktop streamers, right? We mainly stream. This is the way we do things, and it was just like we did IRL here and there, but then we were like, shit, like what are we gonna do? So then we just streamed on our phone and did just a lot of stuff for 2 months, and we have the archives to a lot of it, if not all of it, on our VODs channel, and we took the time to just kind of go through them and like pick out like our favorite moments or like the weirdest things that we did, like showering Anu and then using a fish grill and and that's
plastic models. We did. I mean, the first tour where we slept on the floor, stuff
tour.
like that. So,
what do you
mean? The first day we moved in and we didn't have a bed, so we slept on the floor.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. So we slept. There was like our first stream ever. I was at work.
Yeah,
it was a Blue Solo
just
stream.
Me, and it was just sleeping bags.
So we got a bunch of those clips, and we have it all down. And then on Sunday, which is our next off day, we'll put it together, put the commentary on it, and then make 2 versions, one for YouTube and one for Patreon. Hopefully, if something happens, it might not be on Sunday. I don't know, but that's our plan for now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first time we're doing a non-game based one, commentary reaction video or whatever. This is pretty exciting because it's interesting because like unlike a game where there's like a story and you kind of forget over time what was I thinking back then. When you watch these IRL videos, you know exactly what you were thinking, or you know exactly what was on your mind. And it was in a time where we were like, we need to think of more things to do. Like we never felt burnt out, and it was 2 months of something that we were so not used to. And I think that some of the streams were a lot shorter and whatnot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it felt so refreshing.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I mean, I remember at the last bit, I was getting kind of tired, but just because it's like we didn't have the option to do desktop. So I think at first it was pretty exciting, but I think the closer it got to like internet, it was like, yeah, it's like, when the weird thing to compare to, but when you have to go to the bathroom and then as soon as there's one like really, really close by, you really have to go. It's
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah, yeah.
that.
Like
Yeah.
your body's like you're almost there, so let's just make it worse for you.
Yeah. It's
Right.
like that.
Yeah. I I just remember thinking that it's really interesting because the two commentaries that we have up right now, so we have 3, but of them, 2 are the first 2 games we played after that.
Yeah.
And we talk about it in the commentary too, but just the overall energy of it is just so memorable because, like you said, it was like we finally, well, in your beautiful metaphor, we got to the bathroom. So like it was like this moment where, oh my God, this is what we do. That's right. Like this is what I was kind of scared going back to desktop streaming because I was like, am I gonna like? Is it gonna feel weird to not just move around all the time and like because I was standing. That's a huge thing. It might sound weird, but to stream standing and just being moving around and stuff like that just feels so different than just sitting in a chair. Because I
Time to get a standing desk.
I have a camping if you watch our streams, you know how wiggly like for the people that are watching this on video, this is the flimsiest desk ever. But I like it because it has a lot. It's like a camping desk, so it's really flimsy. It's like foldable legs.
We need
and
to
shit.
get better desks. Like I'm so sick and tired of mine. You're so sick and tired of yours. You need to get desks. We need to upgrade your PC. We need to upgrade our cameras. We have so many things that we need to upgrade. But
one step at a time. We upgraded our mics a couple, like half a year ago or something like that. So it's just
so one
baby
step at a
steps.
time.
And we got you a new arm too. So
yeah.
But
that was very necessary.
Yeah, I think it was so we were going through that. We were doing that new YouTube stuff. So and by the time for people that are sub to our channel, our Twitch channel, you'll be watching this before that video comes out because we'll be putting this video out for you guys for early access today, which is the day that we're filming this. And then for the people that for everybody else, this is gonna come out a week later. So by that time, the video should be out. So hopefully, if something doesn't happen, but yeah, it's been really fun doing that. It's been really fun, very refreshing. Still, I don't feel burnt out. Usually we'll do like 2 or 3 videos and we're like, fuck it. like, cause we'll try to like squeeze in like 4 videos into, it's a really weird mindset. It's like, let's just get 5 done in a week. Something that that you're not used to. It's like, of course you're going to get burned out. Like but we used to do that. But now I think we're just like, let's take our time, and the vault of stuff is just our old content, our old videos. So it's really easy to like watch them, and it's easy to, I remember this part. This part's funny. So it's like really, the good parts.
Yeah.
So that's
it's not like you're not making whole new stuff based. I mean, kind of, but like I meant like you don't have to make completely different type of content, I suppose. Yeah. You're already taking pre-existing content and then adding a flair to it. So I think it's a little bit easier than like all of a sudden starting a whole new series or something. Whole separate like project, So
and something that I just thought of while you were saying that was our last video, the last video in relation to this podcast, it was the Resident Evil 8 RE Village commentary. And for YouTube, we take like the best of the best parts. Best of the best parts, and we edit it down to like maybe like 10 minutes, a little bit over 10 minutes. And then on Patreon, we add other like extra stuff. So it's maybe like 16 minutes, maybe an extra 5 minutes. And then we have this whole like almost like this, like a podcast of us, this after talk of what it was like. And that was the first time, granted we've only done a couple, where we actually we did the whole thing the after talk and we scrapped it and did it again.
Yeah, because we didn't like it.
Which is weird because it's like, what can you talk about? And I realized we talked about the game too much because the game was so fun.
We talked about like, oh yeah, this game was fun because of this, and this. And we didn't really comment about how like our experience of it. It was more like, oh yeah, I really liked this part. You know, I was so impressed with this part. And it's like, that's not,
it was like
it's
a game
not a,
review.
you know, yeah, like we're not trying to review the game.
Yeah. So
it's more about our experience.
So when I was putting that together, I was listening to it and I was mostly listening to it just to see like volume levels and stuff like that. But then I was thinking like, this feels really weird and it feels really, there's no warmth to anything that we're saying because it's all about, it seemed like we were rating the game almost, and games of that, it didn't have to be us to say any of that stuff, right? There was no warmth to it. And so I was like, Blue, can we retake this? This is like irrelevant almost. Like everybody already knows this. You know, like what makes that after talk special is that I want to talk about what it was like for us to, well, split control it. What were like the hard parts, or like what made us want to even do it in the first place, and just kind of, so that after talk for RE8 is like a second take, but also I think it's one of my favorite kind of things that we did for that, because it really goes into our mind of what our mentality is when it goes to like go into a game like that. And we talk about why RE8 was nice for us and why it's so nice to play those games. Like we talk about the comfort zone of those Resident Evil games and stuff like that. And it just felt interesting that even like with this podcast, we never retake anything. It's just whatever's on our mind, we talk about it. And then maybe we'll have a couple notes or something like what we should talk about A, B, and C. But usually this is just random like free talk.
It's like free talk, yeah.
And we never retake it. There's no need to. We never think that there's any need to do that. But that one, I just felt like that 20 minutes that we talked was kind of like,
it was a review more than anything. So it just wasn't really appropriate, I guess,
for the
video.
And I think it's like a personal thing too. I'm not here to be a game journalist. I don't give it.
I mean, I think like review wise, it's like that's something you can just ask. You know, like that's like a question. You could just be like, "Hey, did you like the game?" Yes.
Yeah, and
like what about it, kind of thing. That's like it's very. I feel like it's not really like insight into our experience or anything like that. It's more like just, "Hey, did you like the game?" Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
you know. So
we like. I think it was like the. I like things to be super subjective, especially for us. I mean, that's why we do it, because it's like a very like, it's an experience. It's an experience from two people that are playing the game in a very peculiar way, and it is such a different experience than just having a controller and playing. Like for me too, like when I play a game by myself, it's a very different experience. So I want to talk about that. So what I'm saying is like we try to do that for the after talks too, and I'm really enjoying doing the after talks because it's like this. It's like what we're doing right now for the podcast for like the whole month, but it's for a specific game. It's for a specific game, and then we just go like really. I don't really like to go in too much detail with games on this podcast, because if you aren't not interested in that game, or if you weren't there for the stream or anything like that, it just doesn't make sense for a lot of times. So it's like this kind of, we try to keep it as general, but that one is just like we get to talk about one single game and our experience with it, like the Blluist moments that we had that maybe didn't make it to the edit, or didn't make it even on screen. Like I would be like, I was trying to do this, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
And just something that there's just moments that like they like unlock your memory. So I just really like that. And I think this next video is probably gonna have something like that too, because
a lot of like stuff that happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing it's really weird because the whole thing is behind the scenes. We were streaming our lives for 2 months.
Yeah.
There was no like thought of, well, maybe there was like, okay, all right, let's think of some ideas. Guys, what do you guys want to do? And then they're like, plastic models, go outside. All right, let's do it. And then we do that, but we can't do that every day. So then it was just a bunch of cardboard boxes. We just put our phone and it's like, hey, what's up?
I think we did the like an unpacking stream too.
Yeah. We did a packing stream when we were moving out of the old place too.
And then we did an unpacking one when we moved in here.
Yeah.
So it was, I think it was a lot of just, or other than that, it's just like we were just kind of sitting there talking most of the time.
Yeah.
Talking about like what we were up to. Like, hey, I unpacked the bathroom today.
I think what your first stream, I was watching it from the office because I was at work. And you started off in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're like, hey, what's up? And then we were like, at that time, the app would just like, it would, like, you'll see it in the video too, but like it like freezes frames like every like 2 seconds. It's just so like janky. And then I was like, okay. And then I'm working and I check back on the stream and like you're in the sink and you're like showing all the things that we have in our that you brought and like, hey guys, check it out. This is like all the makeup over here. This is like gray stuff over here. I'm like, this is the most like in-depth review
tour
of my own house that I've like, you know, like because I don't know that stuff either. So I was like finding out new things. Like, oh, that's where
this is like I'm just showing how I sorted the house.
Yeah,
it's like, those were some weird streams.
It made me want to do like. Of course, not all the time, but it made me want to do like house streams a little bit more. You know, it's a different. Doesn't it feel different? I guess we'll talk about it in depth a little bit more when we
on that video.
When it comes out. But doesn't it feel different to just? So I'll keep it to this last part. But like, doesn't it feel different when you're streaming, and you can physically, like, move everybody and the camera? And doesn't it feel different than just sitting here and then with a camera right there? And it feels different, right? Because I think there were moments where I just took people to like, I just like slept on the bed and then I just had.
Yeah, you were just like lounging on the couch or the bed with chat next to you. Like you're like talking like pillow buddies.
Yeah, it was very
intimate.
Very intimate moments that I had.
I felt really weird to be there. I felt like a third wheel.
Yeah, so that's a new video that's coming out. It's called Pillow Talk with Gray. But besides that, I think another thing that we did this month was we did a collab this month. It was a Twitch Japan official VS Yoshiman. And she had a week full of collabs.
She was basically battling other streamers with different types of games for the whole week. So it would be like Monday, she played a game versus somebody. Tuesday was us. Wednesday, Thursday kind of thing. And then the last day that she invited whoever beat her during those rounds. I think the most difficulty I had with those streams is thinking of what to play.
It was hard because we had a couple of ideas, but then we were told that it had to have a category. It couldn't be just chatting. And in my mind, and she's a IRL streamer, so I wanted to do something that was IRL. And I don't think it could have been travel and outdoors, I think.
Yeah, I think she wanted a game.
She wanted a game.
So
because I wanted to do like tag or something, you know,
like, or even like werewolf.
Or like werewolf. But, werewolf was one of them.
And also it had one of the other rules that was given to us was that it had to have a clear-cut winner. So werewolf wouldn't have been. You know, you can't really choose who's winner and who's loser, especially if they end up on the same team.
Yeah.
So that wasn't possible. And then another idea we had was we wanted to do Pokemon and then do what's it? Metronome fight. But the thing is, in order to do that, she would have had to buy the game, beat the game, unlock arena, and then get like necessary Pokemon and everything. So the setup would have been too much, basically.
And I also this doesn't really occur to us mostly, but since we don't play competitive games too much, and even if we do, we're not very good at them. We wanted to do something that was very equal in the sense that
We didn't have experience playing it either.
Yeah, and so we ended up playing Pummel Party, which was super fun because we've only gotten to play it once, and it was our second time, and it was really fun. It was like really close, and and it's exactly what it should have been for us. So I was happy, but yeah, like we had a lot of like, and then it made me realize like a lot of the stuff that we try to do is like it just goes under just chatting or something. Like it's really, I want to do something. Maybe it doesn't have to be like a official event or something, but it'd be cool to do. It gave me ideas to do things with people that are like in the future with Yoshiman. It's very rare that we get to get invited because we've never talked to her before, and that was the first time that we ever interacted. It's still kind of like weird is the wrong term because it might have like a negative connotation. I don't mean like that. It's still like it feels almost like peculiar, I guess, like that we would get picked because we don't, or she picked us because we don't normally get offers like that. So
we're not really cool. We just don't do much collab streams in the first place.
Yeah,
not because we don't want to or anything. Yeah, it's more just we don't.
I was surprised.
We don't do them. Like we don't invite people a lot of times, and we just don't. Yeah, it's just not something we look for. I guess like we don't go out of our way to look for collab streams or anything like that. So
yeah, it was. I didn't even know she knew who. We didn't know that she knew who we were, kind of thing. And then,
but turns out we had some mutual friends. Yeah, so it made sense. But yeah,
I mean, we do werewolf, but it's really like when we really want to, kind of thing, and like when we feel like it, and then we love doing it, but it's just like let's focus on other things now, kind of thing. So that's fun. And then we played Fall Guys because the
redemption round.
The redemption round. We won. We won by this much in Pummel Party, and then
a little bit.
We did Fall Guys the last day, and then she destroyed us. So, yeah. But it was really fun. Just to like, it's always fun to see the differences in the communities that you have, and they're all positive. Like it's so like everyone kind of like meshes together. Some people will come check out our stream, and then some people some of our people already either know her or go hang out on their streams too, and it's just a fun time. Like I understand why people do it.
I mean, I have a hard time with collab streams because I don't know how to give like, I don't know how to balance chat, and I don't know how to balance the other person. Like I want to talk to people who are watching too, but at the same time, I also want to talk to the person I'm collabing with.
It's hard.
So it's really hard to and of course, like I don't know the timing to mute us on the Discord side to talk to people in the chat and everything. So I just have a hard time figuring out the balance of collab streams. And that's why I think I just have a difficulty with them. Because I end up having to just ignore everyone in chat.
Yeah, and like
and that makes me feel really weird.
We'll text, like we read everything and then we'll like reply in text. But like
that's not the same, so
or like we'll chat like text chat, but like I think it's also hard because if it was just one person, it's a lot easier because we've done stuff like that before, and I would be in the channel because we go through the same audio source. So if she mutes her mic, it mutes mine too. So like before, I would have another mic here and then go in on my own. And that was actually not that bad because I just have a hotkey to mute. So then I just mute when, I'm talking to the stream. And then when I'm talking to the people in VC, I just turn it off. But if, like Blue would have to consider what I'm saying too. So it's hard, I guess.
Yeah, I just don't know when to mute. So maybe we just need to get headsets, both of us, and then connect that to Discord. I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, it's just hard to do. So it's not I'm still learning how to handle collab streams.
It's hard. It's a very there's like a learning curve to that. The people that can do it. And then once you get to a certain point and then the chemistry is right, then people don't mind. And it's just like people are just there just saying things in chat, not because they want us to respond, but just because they're there and just saying stuff or like talking to each other or like there for that. But yeah, it's something that it makes me feel like, yes, we're still like not experienced in many things, but that's one of the things. It's like, wow, that's so different from our day to day. It's something that we definitely want to work on learning and get better at. Because like in Werewolf, I can't look at chat, so it's completely.
And I want to talk.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, of course, if I respond to people, then Gray can't hear what people are saying in the Discord, or you guys end up hearing his own, like, I guess, his own, like, monologues and whatnot, too. So I have a difficulty. I don't know when I should unmute myself and talk during streams or what Werewolf streams, too. Because some people just want to listen to what people are saying, and I don't want to talk over people either. So those are hard for me to comment on, too.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to host something and also be the like guest too, I guess, because in this sense we were the guest. There's collabs is a different like whole another realm that such a learning experience. I think. Yep. And then for game wise, I think this month we were just all about Hogwarts Legacy. It was just at this point today, the day that we're filming it. So this is like March 2nd. Yeah, we're a little bit late on filming this, but March 2nd, we are like kind of done with the whole game, except we need a couple more levels to graduate. So to get the end.
But we did finish the main story.
Yeah.
So technically we're done.
Yeah, fantastic game. I just have I think it's another one of those things that I was just like, I'm glad we got to experience this together as one character, because there were so many like dialogue options that were just, a lot more fun, because you are a Slytherin by heart and I'm a Gryffindor. So but we played it as a Slytherin character. So
you chose so many Gryffindor options. It was insulting.
And since I have the mouse and we split controlled it, some of the times
it was insulting.
Yeah.
I always ask him like, hey, can you choose that one? And he blatantly ignores me and goes the Gryffindor route.
If I'm talking to a Gryffindor.
Typical Gryffindor.
Yeah, there are many moments like that. Super fun. I think it was like 8 streams. We're going into our 9th, I think. But and it was like before that we played Final Fantasy X. That was also like 10 streams too. So we've been playing like long games back to back. So we might put in some shorter games in between or something, or a different style, I guess. But
there's been a lot of new games recently, though, like a lot of good looking ones.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what we're gonna do next, and I don't even know if there is a short stream I want, like short game that I want to play. So we might just dive into a long one too.
They're always just long. Like the good ones look long. Yeah,
we don't know, but
I totally understand. I feel like we never know. We never know what we get ourselves into, and we
always decide like an hour before.
Yeah. There's so many.
That's why I'm always like downloading as soon as we stream.
Yeah, and there's so many good games, and everybody has such good suggestions. And like, we look through all the suggestions people give us, and it's always just one game, so it always just ends up whatever we want to do at that moment.
Yeah,
like that's always gonna win, but it's hard to decide. This Hogwarts one we knew we were gonna play.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Yeah, and that
for so long.
While, yeah, so we knew we were gonna play that. So
yeah,
kind of going into that.
There is one thing I do want to mention. Not regarding games, but in a few weeks I'm going to be going to America for my brother's wedding.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks, and since our next podcast is going to be we won't be able to take it till April again. It's gonna be a little late. Because, like I said, I'm going to be gone for half of March. So I do want to mention, I guess, the feelings before I leave.
What feelings before you leave?
Well, because, I'm just like any other time. The last time we left for Ireland, we were only gone for a week, right? Yeah. And then we had that, if you listen to the podcast, then we did have the difficulties of, I guess, numbers dropping,
getting back on
and
the rhythm.
also getting back into rhythm and kind of getting on that verge of burnout, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many streams I can throw in there, because one of the reasons why, actually the reason why I can't go is because I'm not going. So I'm gonna be in Japan, but it's just like just personal events, I guess, that won't let me go. So I'm gonna be like extremely busy that time.
I mean, it's work.
Yeah.
You're just gonna be really busy with work.
Yeah, like extremely busy. So I just can't.
I mean, hopefully you can stream weekly at least.
I mean, I will stream, but
yeah,
I won't like. It might be like imp type stuff. It might be blotchy, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll try and keep a schedule, but it's gonna be.
You might have to cancel some, right?
Yeah, and it's not just like workload. It's just gonna be mentally very heavy.
Yeah.
That I can. Yeah. So I'm going into that.
And then of course, like I plan to stream while I'm there too, but I'm not 100% sure if that's possible. That's the thing. So like once I'm at my parents' place, yes, it's possible. They have internet. But before then, like, am I going to be able to? Because a couple days before I get there, because I'm going to be at my brother's wedding, and I don't know if I have access to internet before I get to my parents' place, because I can't get a SIM card either. So I don't know when I can start streaming. And then, of course, like time-wise, it's going to be very different because I'm going to be in American time and everything. So it's going to be just a bunch of Blluist streams where it's like some of them's probably like an hour.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm interested.
So I guess I am a little worried of how that's going to affect, I guess, everything.
Yeah, that's gonna be fine. We'll be back.
And we said that last time too, and then it hit me pretty bad mentally when I came back. So I'm a little worried about how it's gonna hit me when I come back.
It's gonna hit us hard either way, and then we get back. Give it a couple months, and it should be fun. I think you should be thinking about what's more important, which is your brother's wedding. So
yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
It's a very
those
big
are
moment,
the thoughts that's going through my head.
Makes sense. I think it's.
I'll let you guys know on the next one.
If this is the way we're catching up, like people catch up with us. Next time I'm like, oh my god, dude, we're fucked again. And so it's so weird, and it's almost like so toxic that that's the mindset. You can't even. That's what you have to think about when it's your fucking brother's wedding, like your family member's wedding, and that's like, it makes me feel like. It's sad. You can't just go being like, I'm gonna celebrate my brother's wedding, like, but that's the reality of it. It's very real. Like I'm not gonna reject any of that because I hope you can have a fun time, but that's
kind of
it's real.
It's that's what comes with content creation, right? If you're not relevant, I suppose, if you don't have a consistent schedule or if you don't have consistent content, then people do leave.
Oh yeah. So. And we're live stream content, so
yeah. So that's even harder.
Yeah, I think it's a very valid thought. I think, and I'll be like, it's don't worry about it.
Yeah, I want to be like, oh no, it'll be fine. But I know in the back of my head, because I'm that, I'm gonna just be thinking about that the whole time.
Yeah, I would do that. I would be same. And it's going to be like that for me too, because there's just going to be times I physically and mentally cannot stream.
It's like that guilt, right?
And I'm the one, I'm here too. Like I can stream, but I'm just going to be like, I'm going to be like zombie mode right around the time that you're going to be gone. So it's just, I don't know. Yeah. I'll try, but it's, I'm not going to push myself too much because I don't think.
How dare you not push yourself to the point where you're like dying?
Yeah, how dare myself not do my best, as if I haven't been for the last 4 years. But I think once you come back, I think even if it gets a little rocky or whatever, we'll get it back. But
yeah, we'll figure something out.
I think it'll be fine. I mean, it will be fine, but it will be like we're just gonna have to like power through it once again.
Yeah,
that's fine. So I guess that's the kind of stuff that's happened this month. And I guess we'll get to the questions.
Questions.
The Twitch subs have asked us for this month. So
first one is from Vondemort.
Vondemort.
Question for Gray. What are your 5 favorite songs?
My 5 favorite. Oh, that's too hard. I can't even pick one. I mean, I guess one is harder, than 5.
Yeah.
5 favorite songs. I guess 5 favorite songs. I did say that I looked through the questions, but I didn't think of the answers for especially this one. I don't know. I guess like an eternal song that I will always kind of come back to is "Steadier Footing" by Death Cab for Cutie. "Steadier Footing" is, I think, one of the prettiest songs that I know. Lyrically, just mood wise, very quiet. It's just like there's not much instrumentation, just like, but it's not an acoustic song. Yeah, "Steadier Footing" I always go back to. I like the story of that song too, as in like the lyrics of it. Another song that I will always go back to is probably "I Support Same-Sex Marriage" by Fireworks is another one that that song came out in like 2008 or something like that, or 2009, but I think I really, really like that song. As much as the song title is like in your face, lyrically it's not that in your face. I don't like songs that are very in your face, but I really like that track. Okay, I can think of I guess "Never Meant." This is probably like as a very emo answer, all these emo answers, but "Never Meant" by American Football will always be a classic. I'll never forget the time that I listened to it live when they came for the reunion tour. It was just kind of, that song just hits no matter what. I think it just hits. That's what that was that 3 right now.
I wasn't keeping track.
I think that's 3 right now. The "Steadier Footing," "I Support Same-Sex Marriage." What did I say? "Never Meant." What's another one?
You don't have an Ella Garden song in there?
Oh, I mean, Japanese. I wasn't even thinking about Japanese songs right now. Ella Garden, I guess, definitely. Let me try to think. That's a hard question, even. What's my favorite Ella Garden song? It's a hard question, but
what are you into right now?
What am I into right now?
It doesn't have to be top favorite. Just what do you like right now?
I don't think I'm listening to too much music right now these days. But I'm gonna keep it to those top 3.
10 a.m. is a really great song.
By Ella Garden.
Yeah, that's a great song. Just saying.
Not Ella Garden, but the singer has a different band called The Hiatus, and Twisted Maple Trees is the last song off their first album, and I think Twisted Maple Trees is probably one of my favorite songs. I love that song, and there's like an orchestra version of it, I think, if I'm not wrong, that they did. Definitely love that song. So I'll keep it to 4. And these are probably not even my favorite. Like, I can probably, like, there's gonna be a moment where I'm like, oh wait, this song is more of a favorite, but those are the ones that come off the top of my head. But then if we just kept going, it would be like 3 hours of this, of just me going so I'll keep it to those.
I mean, the question for me is
5 favorite books.
Yeah, and that's also another thing I could probably go on for hours. So I'm just gonna name the top 5 that I think of right now and that I've recently enjoyed. Handmaid's Tale I've read recently, and that one was really good. I really enjoyed reading that one. Currently enjoying Dune, the first one. I'm not super far into it, but I'm really, really liking it so far. So I can already tell that it's going to be one of my favorites. Never Let Me Go is always a big one for me. I think it's always in my top 10 at least. Yeah, Never Let Me Go is great. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is also really good. That one is what Blade Runner is based off of. I also like Fahrenheit 451. That one's also a really great book. Of course, I like Harry Potter series. I haven't read them recently, and I actually kind of want to reread them to see if I still enjoy them now, because I read them when I was a kid. But and then of course like Pride and Prejudice, Jane Eyre, any kind of like historical Regency period stuff I also enjoy, or like Gothic novels too, like Wuthering Heights and everything too. I enjoy those too. So yeah.
I'm still thinking about the songs right
I
now.
probably have more.
Songs.
I mean, I okay. You know what? I'm such a book nerd that I have an app that keeps track of all the books I've read. Mm-hmm. I haven't finished my list. There's so many, and I haven't been able to list them all. But yeah, there's a lot I've read.
So maybe on stream or something if you remember.
Yeah. Oh, we need to talk about Kevin's also a really good book. It's kind of depressing though.
Okay.
I've read Anne Rice Chronicles, like a lot of them, like Interview with a Vampire. Those were very edgy. Oh, and then did I say American Psycho?
No.
Bret Easton Ellis is one of my favorite authors as well. His book Glamorama is really good. It's about like fashion industry and like modeling. And that one was that one was very interesting too. But American Psycho is fantastic as well.
There you go.
There's a lot.
So Matt, thanks for the question. Matt asks, with Japan opening up, are you ready for the influx tourists and fans? It's already been like there's so many people that have come through. And Toasty actually already visited like right when it opened. So we got to see him. So it's awesome.
It'll be cool to see people.
Yeah.
If they can get over here.
I mean,
so
I think for us in the first couple of years, we were a lot more like trying to, if people were visiting Japan, let's come hang out. But I think more and more those opportunities, just because of our schedule and whatnot, just our personal life mostly.
Yeah. We might not be able to meet up with everyone, but if we have the time, it'd be fun.
Yeah. And it's really nice to see, just to walk around and see so many people again from all over the world. I think it's already happening. There's so many people for like 2 or 3 years, only Japanese people that I saw. Now there's so many more, either they're tourists or they live here. I don't know, but it's like a mix of so many different people. Love to see it. And I've always said that it's always cool. It's cool to see Tokyo just have all different kinds of people. I love it. I get talked to in English a lot, if they like ask for directions or something. So I'm always up for that. Thanks for that question, Matt. You've been turned into a Pokemon. This one goes
next one is from Mars.
You've been turned into a Pokemon. What type of Pokemon are you? What type?
Also, how would you sound as a Pokemon saying your name?
I'll probably be. This is different than what our favorite type is, right? It's what we think we would be.
Yeah.
What do you think I would be?
Electric.
I think we should electric.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So I would be like Pikachu?
Yeah.
I feel like
I told you, out of all the Pokemon, I always think you're like Raichu.
Oh.
To me, you are Raichu.
Okay. I'll take that. So then
you'd be electric Pokemon.
What would my voice be? Would it be like high?
I don't know. That's up to you.
I would like to have a really low one. Like Dogas. What's coughing?
Yeah.
I love that. Dogas. Or are we talking about like Gen 1, like not actual voices, but just
saying
sounds?
Your name.
Saying my name?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How would it sound saying gray?
But it's electric, right?
Yeah.
So I want a little bit of like pizzazz so it would be like maybe like that. That sounded a little bit electric, right?
Yeah, very electric. Yeah.
And you would be Dark and Ghost, obviously.
It would definitely be Ghost.
No, you know what you would be? You know what you would actually be?
What?
You would be a dark fairy. Dark.
I'm not Ghost?
No. Dark.
Why?
Because you're actually not that edgy.
No, Dark is edgy. Ghost, I'm just... Because my view of what I would be as a Pokemon is I would be Ghost type, and I'd be so translucent that you see right through me, and I just have like super lanky with like super long arms. I'm just saying.
That's cool. That's what you want. But in reality, you would be like, it would be like kind of like a Yuki Onna type, like a Frostlass type of Pokemon, but like it'd be like a Frostlass Pokemon. You kind of had that aesthetic, Japanese aesthetic, wearing a kimono, obviously dark type, right? But even though that one's Frostlass is ice, but you wouldn't have, it's like Frostlass, imagine that with a little bit just like edgier clothing, maybe the kimono's black, gray a little bit, but then when you evolve, it becomes really colorful, I think. And that's...
Can it be like Millennia with big wings?
Yeah, I feel like...
Nice.
I feel like there's a fairy type in you. So what would your sound be?
I already said what my sound would be.
What would it be?
I'm just gonna go around saying yeah.
Very not what I thought, but there you go. Thanks for the question, man. Kari asks, how's the schedule thing going? Are you guys feeling like it's changed your approach to stream and live? So this is the question that I read before from Kari, and that's why we didn't want to talk about it, so I'll talk about it now. But so we've been doing the schedule thing for about a month now. It's vastly improved my life. Just so like last week it broke a little bit. We broke it because we had an irregular schedule and I felt like garbage. So I'm trying to kind of put it back into motion, and I put it back into motion, but there's definitely, it feels weird to not be in that mindset. I just feel like we're a little bit more lenient now with how we allocate time to stuff. But all in all, we're still sometimes I'll miss breakfast, which I try not to do, but you know, sometimes it is what it is type thing. We still try to sleep by 12
at midnight, yeah.
Which is hard with all these cool games coming out, but
I think hardest for me is like during like our off days or whatever, I feel guilty for doing something else.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like I've told you, you know, because I am going to my brother's wedding, I want to get little accessories for my kimono because I'm going to be wearing a kimono. Mm-hmm. And I want to go, but there's a part of me that kind of feels guilty to go shopping for those kind of things. Just like we have other things to do.
But it's like...
Or like we should be doing other things. So I think there's a part of me that feels kind of guilty for even thinking it. Or even like suggesting to play a game. I have like a split second in my head where it's like, wait, no, should we be doing something else? Am I being irresponsible for even suggesting to play something? Like it's, yeah.
The thing about like, because we talked about, you know, like very recently about getting the stuff for the wedding, and we're like, no, you should make time for that. That's fine. And, you know, like we can move stuff around and, you know, you shouldn't feel guilty. But the guilty thing about, I think there's a good thing in feeling, well, should I be using my time to something else? And then if there isn't, it's fine. If there is, there's no need to, to push if there is nothing, there's no reason not to just hang and play. I think it's just finding that balance, and it means that the schedule's working because there's, should I be doing this versus, sorry, you guys are getting some Anu audio texture right now. Hopefully you guys, it's not too annoying for the people listening to audio here, because you can see Anu on the video podcast, or his pause, I guess. But anyways, it means that something's working. And I think once we start to get even more used to all of this, then that's when we can be like, okay, we can move this around, we can move this around. But it's that we're still in that mode where it's like, it's really strict in our minds. And I don't think there's a problem with that because it's so different from what we normally do. But like for example, like we're taking this around like 2 p.m. Back then, we would be taking this podcast around like 8 and export everything by like 12. Like it would, and then we would just be like, what are we doing? Like we just wasted all night. But now we had the schedule. It's our off day. We did stuff in the we've done stuff for the YouTube and like from like 11 to 12. And then after that, we do eat lunch, whatever, do this. When we do export, everything should be done by like 5 at the latest. And then after that, it's free time because it's our off day. And so I think it's working. And for stream, it's been working well for me too, because for some reason, I don't feel as tired when it comes to, even though I'm getting like the same amount of sleep generally, maybe it's like 1 or 2 hours. It's either that's making a huge difference or it's just having a cycle just makes everything a lot easier. And I think diet is huge, is the fact that I'm like actually eating throughout the day. Right now hay fever season is hitting and it sucks to sleep. Like I can't sleep, which is another reason why it's pissing me off. It's like the pollen is ruining my schedule, the schedule that I have, because I like wake up at like 2 or something. I'm like, oh, like I can't go back to sleep. But besides that, yeah, it's definitely, I think it's changing the energy of streaming. I'm in a more clear mindset for things. We don't have these like random times for ideas anymore. We have like I think it's more like when we have ideas, it comes at a certain like maybe during our walk with Anu, because that didn't used to have a schedule. We didn't have a schedule for his walks, so we would just go at a random time. Now it's like every morning on our off days and the days that we have our
night
streams. In the morning we go. That's the first thing that we do, and then we get breakfast, make breakfast, eat. So during that time, we just kind of like, I mean, our minds are already moving, so I really want to keep this schedule. I think it's just gonna get better and better, and hopefully, like my wish is that once we get used to it and then we get into the cycle, we can even push it back even more, so I can wake up earlier and then have a longer morning to do stuff, because I just know that my mind is a lot more active in the morning than it is at night, and then that way we can finish off earlier and then have a longer free time type thing. So how does that sound, Blue? Let's wake up earlier. How about that?
Can we just stay up later?
That doesn't make sense. If you stay up later, you wake up later.
No, I'm saying like you can wake up an hour earlier. I'll just stay up an hour later.
That means that
that's an extra now. That's an extra hour for the both of us.
Then you better make that hour super productive then. Because that's the whole point of it, is like, because we sometimes do, like rarely, but like break the schedule and we'll sleep like we'll be like, okay, we're gonna stay up 1 hour later because we want to play this game, and then we're gonna
sleep in an hour later.
And it, like, my body clock is so accurate at the point that I wake up exactly an hour later. It's like, wow, that was an hour. Like, it's my body's so used to it now. How is it for you? You haven't really talked about it, but
what?
This whole schedule thing.
I mean, I think it's working better than when we didn't have it. Like, it seems like we have more structure. And I mean, it helps me out in terms of like, I guess just in terms of how like I don't feel too guilty about not doing something. As in like our days off actually feels like a day off.
It does, yeah. I'm pretty as much as we're strict on being productive, we're equally as strict as, okay, it's 5, we're done. we are not doing. We don't think about any of this shit for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like
so it actually does feel like a day off, so to speak.
Yeah, that's
so
really important.
I think mentally it really helps.
The cutoff point and being like, all right, that's it. Let's just hang out. Whatever. Like, let's just get I'm gonna get a drink. We're just gonna hang out. Fun, do something. So it's weird. It's very important to be strict about being productive, which this helps. But it's also very as important to be strict about having your free time. And I think that's another balance that I learned is.
Yeah, it helps balance out everything.
Yeah. Then that way we just get to do everything we want. You know? And it's going to get even more and more as we, the things that we need to do are going to pile up even more and more. So it's very important to have the structure. And the faster we get into it, it's like, I really recommend it, you guys. Really recommend it. I know it's hard because we didn't do it for 30 years, but like,
yeah, it's like night and day.
Give it a fucking shot.
Really big difference.
Like, just if you feel like groggy in the morning, just sleep 1 hour earlier. Just do it for a week. Do it for a week. Just be like, you know what? I'll just give it a shot. Why not? And then it'll be like, holy crap, it's very different. I just feel very different every day now. Like it's fantastic.
At least setting a time from like what Gray was saying, where it's like from 5 we don't do anything, like not work, but in other people's cases it'd be like after 5 nothing work related, but before that be productive, and kind of thing.
It's so weird because like it seems obvious, and I've heard that shit like forever, but I've never done that. Right? I just never did that. It just never occurs to you that it's like, oh wait, you think you're taking the time off, but you're not at all. Like your mind is still going. You're like, oh, I still got 2 more hours I can go, And some people might not have the luxury to do that in the sense that they're just so busy that it just doesn't. Even in that case, if you can try to have some structure, maybe you'll get even more productive.
Yeah. You never know.
Maybe, not doing something actually leads to productivity later. Because you just got to take that hour and put it somewhere else. Because it's like a puzzle every day. So it's like, okay, we're not doing it. Sometimes we don't have anything to do this moment, and we don't want to. That's really important. Like, I don't want to do it. So let's move it this way. Like, an example, we took a video for YouTube. We didn't take a video. We looked at our archives and we're like, hey, we should do this for the next video. We sat around for about an hour, right? Looking at clips and going, nah, we can't make a video out of this. We can't make a commentary out of this. It's too hard. So I was like, I think I was just like, cut off. That's it. Let's stop thinking about it. And then we just dropped the whole thing. And then so that way, I was like, now we know what we don't want to do. We're not going to think about it. We'll come back to it in a couple days, but today we're done. And then that's never happened. I would like try to grind it out until we get something out of it, just to feel that that time was worth it. But it was so much better that I was just like, nope, we didn't waste our time. I didn't think of it as we wasted our time. I just think we attempted something. We don't see it going anywhere from this. Just cut it. Done. Come back to it a couple days. Next time we came back, we talked about it for 5 minutes and we said, oh, let's drop it. Let's do the IRL stuff. And then we went straight into it. So it was, I think, it's really important to like cut it off and not to think like, if I don't get this out, it's a waste of time. Like it's way more of a waste of time to just like sit there
and mull it over.
Yeah. And then try to like push out something that you don't believe in kind of thing, or like try to like,
you're forcing yourself to do something that just to be able to say that, yeah, I made some progress. So
yeah, it's like patting yourself on the shoulder, like just for that. So I was like, not doing something is actually productive. It's reverse. I always thought productivity is action versus non-action, but to stop an action is also extremely productive, is what I'm learning. That's going good. Thank you so much for that question, man. So
Last question.
Last question. Kia asks, I'm teaching myself Japanese. Can you name your most frequent used verbs?
A few are enough.
I never really think about that. My used verbs.
Miru.
Miru, to watch something.
Like, do you want to watch something kind of thing?
Ku, taberu.
Taberu is eat something.
Or like, okay, here's one. Okay. Yaru. So
to do.
To do. And it's exactly the same as English. In the sense that when you say like to do somebody in a sexual way, you can use that. It uses that too. It has the versatility, just like the English. And I don't mean that because I just want to say something dirty, but it's always easier if the use case and the use case of the word is as versatile in slang as is the actual language, and it matches with English. When you say, yo, did you do that? Did you, what, like, let's do this, and then you'd be like, that would just to do an activity, right? Nanka yarouze. Let's do something. Or like, I did her. Yattanda. It's the same, and you use the same word. So that's why I think it's useful. And I'm not saying like use it in
around saying that, but
I'm just saying it's the slang way of using that word is the same way, same type of versatility as it is in Japanese and English. So yaru is good, just to do something, and it's like vague enough. So I think it's useful.
Yeah, so maybe those three.
どうかな? 帰る, go home. Like 帰るわ. とか. There's so many, but those are just like day-to-day stuff. But yeah, yaru's pretty like, やろうぜ, let's do it. You know when you say like, let's do it, that connotation of like, let's do it, it doesn't mean like, let's do an activity, but like, let's get it. Let's get this. Let's get it kind of thing. やろうぜ is the same thing. やろう? やってやろうぜ is the same meaning. Damn, やる is nice. I realized more and more as I was saying.
That one's very useful.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Thank you guys so much for the questions.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Another month.
And thank you for checking out this month's podcast.
And then we'll see how we're streaming on. What is it? Stream on in the next podcast, which might be in 2 months because our schedule's
we'll probably get it out in 1st of April or something.
Or maybe I'll take a solo one.
Yeah, you could.
Maybe. We'll see. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys in the next month, all right?
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye, guys.